I'm seriously considering taking Anthony Richardson ahead of Bryce Young at 3, only because I just feel like the rushing upside is much higher. And if we're going for like fantasy, best case outcome, I think there's a higher probability that Anthony Richardson has a number one QB1 season over Bryce Young, just because he's like a Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts type runner, in my opinion. And he's got the prototypical size and elite speed and athleticism. So I think if you're trying to hit a home run with like the number 3 overall pick, I think it's better to take a gamble with Richardson's upside over the potential, brittle Kyler type career that Bryce Young could have.
What is okay? So Anthony Richardson right now, where is he mocked going? Just throw
It's
out a
all over,
number.
but he's definitely
Yeah,
like fourth, like is the highest, like after Bryce. Like
I've seen one mock where I think
Colts is the highest, basically.
the Colts are the highest. I've seen one where the Colts move up to 3 and get Richardson.
yeah, that guy's trying to get a couple clicks, huh?
Yeah,
Whoever posted that one. But yeah, because
sure.
the Colts are so boring. They're so they're so whack.
If the
main
Colts
landing
don't
spots, there
get
are gonna be
Lamar
4
Jackson,
Colts,
I
and
think
then
they
7.
have to go Richardson.
Here's my question, which is I'm not that big of a fan of AR. Here's why. Here's my thinking. So he's going right now. A lot of mocks have him going 4, by the way. So I bring up like some random mocks. I see him being mocked to the Colts, whatever. Let's say he's going 4th, 10th, whatever.
Sure.
Where was he going before the combine?
I think he was still first rounder, but not like top 5.
Well, let's say like he's going
top 10, I think.
Close to top 10, top 10, top 15.
Yeah.
Top that high, you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was
going that high.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, I thought he was going much lower, and then now he moved up a lot. So
No.
he still moved up a lot, but still, he still moved up a lot in mocks, and they're just mocks. We don't know, but it's like
I mean, he could still go number 1. I mean, it's possible. It's not that crazy.
Yeah,
like,
I just feel like us spectators, especially, and people mocking him, he's jumping up so high because of a combine and people in fantasy football. So nobody was talking about taking him that high before the combine. And the combine was extremely impressive. It's very exciting. You get emotional, but like, I mean, we already knew he was a great runner. So he scored a little bit faster.
Also, he's the youngest quarterback as well. So his potential is, higher than most.
The stats are here, and he's only had one real season, so that's a risk. So here's what I'm thinking: Anthony Richardson, right? What have we seen? We're talking dynasty. So you have this guy on your roster for several years. Now, what have I don't want to put him in exactly in a bottle, but what have we seen that's close to him? So we've seen RG3 1 season, Lamar Jackson,
Fields and Hurts,
Cam Newton, maybe similar.
Yeah, Cam Newton, Fields, Hurts.
These are good examples. Cam Newton, 2 good seasons where where you love him in dynasty, and then you may have had a couple more that were decent, but mostly heartbreak with Cam. Lamar Jackson, 1 good season. Justin Fields, half a good season. He still hasn't played much. My point is, a lot of these guys, well, Jalen Hurts, okay, that's a good I mean, he was very raw and not really good when he first started too. So,
Josh Allen too, he was not accurate at all. And then
so I guess we could see them take a huge step year 3. My point is, like, with Anthony Richardson, there's such a risk that you might get that one magical year, and then you'd have to trade him away, and it's just a lot of pressure. If you're good wheeling and dealing, you like selling high, buying low. If you're like, let's say a day trader when it comes to dynasty, that might be your cup of tea. I feel like you got to sell him though. You got to know to let him go. And I've pushed this narrative really tough when Sushane was on a couple times, where I was telling people that they need to trade away Justin Fields if you can, because his stock was so high. and you guys aren't in this league. Drew just got in this league. Scout, what I referenced, Scout traded away. What was it? He traded away Jalen Hurts and a first
terrible.
for Justin Fields or
Yeah,
something.
while Hurts was injured, while
terrible.
Justin Fields was on that boom.
It's like, yeah, and so the dynasty, the rookie, I feel like there's a little bit too much hype with AR, and it's purely only off the combine. So it's like, what is this? Like, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, his combine's amazing. It got me emotional. I loved it. I got excited, but it's like, just based off the combine, we would do this. We would consider him number one. It's a little tough. Maybe, and there's a good chance he will be the best fantasy quarterback for 1 year. But it's like, when will that year be? And, hopefully,
if he lands on the Colts, I think he has a better chance just because the team around him is, not that bad. They have a good running game. He'll get Michael Pittman. He has a good tight end, good, decent line. So I think that's an ideal landing spot. If he landed to a team like the Raiders, obviously I wouldn't be as high on him. But if he lands at the Colts and they invest top 5 draft capital on him, I think, he's definitely going to be the future of that franchise. And it's a lot safer of a pick than if he goes somewhere else. Or if he goes to like the Seahawks, for example, which some people have been saying, and they cut Geno loose after a year or two. That could be a good scenario for him because then he'll get, DK and Lockett and that run.
I'm on board with that Seattle strategy more, where he has a guy who's already there, who sits back. So a little bit of pushback on the Raiders thing. I mean, they have Garoppolo signed for a little bit, so it's not like AR would have to be the immediate starter. But at the same time, we mentioned earlier how Jimmy G is injury prone. So I don't know, not the best, not the worst, but I think Indianapolis.
At least he would have Devontae Adams. He would have.
That's true. He would have a receiver.
Josh, Josh Jacobs.
I don't think Indy is as good for AR as you think, though, because that's a spot where he would have to be kind of forced into the mix pretty early. I mean, that could be
it could be good or bad.
At
least you'll get to use him right away.
It's how his it's how his mentals are, how he takes it, and if
I heard his interviews were really good though. Like if you listen to all the combine like buzz about him, he tested very well in the interviews, which is good. I think that it shows that he is very smart, and he he's not like a Jamarcus Russell type. Like
he's not weak. He's not weak-minded like Zach Wilson.
Yeah, exactly.
Folds under.
So that's just another good sign for me. That
just another box really checked.
Yeah, because that could be a concern. But if most of the GMs are high on him after the combine, from that respect, I think that's just another, positive sign.
We all know he's going to be very raw his first year. That's basically right.
Maybe the first couple,
Yeah, that's already like we already know that. The Seahawks, I don't see him taking them, but they do have pick 20 and pick 6. So like, and this mock right here has him going 20. So I mean, if he does fall.
There's no way he's going 20.
I don't think he's going to fall.
There's literally zero chance of that.
And the Seahawks just signed a huge contract with Geno Smith long term. It's like I don't know if they're
I think it's a team friendly though, where they can get out of it, like out of
I guess huge wasn't even the right deal, but they signed I guess to say a bit, they signed him.
It's like the Jimmy deal, like they could get out of that too, like you know what I mean. Those two contracts are team friendly, and they can basically get out of it after a year.
We kind of highlighted the main things about Anthony Richardson. His film is we watched that YouTube reel the other day called A Magical Disaster. That's basically his film. So I mean that's basically what it is, right? So he's one of these guys. He's definitely an athlete. Is he a passing type of quarterback? Well, he has to develop. Right? Given the price, you're going to have a little bit of conviction if you're going to be an Anthony Richardson guy in your draft. Right?
You're going to have a lot because there's a couple of AR freaks in every league.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he's not going to fall out of the top let's call it 5. I'm going to be conservative and say he's not going to.
I think so. I think you're right.
It could
I
be
don't think
top
he's
3. It
falling
could be
out of
top
top
4. You know what I
5.
mean?
In Superflex,
So,
it's
in Superflex,
more
yeah.
like top 3-ish.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like I'm saying, there's always going to be at least one guy, at least like probably more, that are one of those AR 1.01.
Truthers.
Yeah, exactly, right.
What did we say, Susha? We came to the conclusion about 28% of people tweeting and stuff was like AR 1.01 Dynasty.
Yeah, something like it was close to a quarter.
Maybe I went
alright,
down
yeah.
that rabbit hole, but yeah, I agree.
It's worth. I thought about it because that's the thing. I'm just telling you guys too. I also got excited after the combine. It was very
It was
impressive.
a thought, yeah, for sure, definitely.
But I crunched the numbers. More than an average of 3 people in your dynasty league will be Anthony Richardson. True hardcore truthers. That's just the numbers.
And it's totally up to you if you want to take on that risk, right? I mean, this is going to be a guy where he's going to have high risk. We know that. And then the upside is, is it safe to say this is a stud or dud type of guy, where it's like if he pans out in the NFL, he's probably going to be that top 3 to 5 quarterback in fantasy football. Whereas if he doesn't pan out, he's just the 0. I think
his floor is Malik Willis. I think it's safe to say.
Oh, I don't think it's that bad. But yeah.
That's the floor, like the absolute bottom.
I don't think it's that bad, but it's bad.
It's like Justin Fields type, you know.
Okay, so his floor is he never develops as a passer and does not become a franchise quarterback. Okay, that's fair.
You're basically talking about like he's like XFL. That's what Malik Willis is.
Sure.
Like XFL.
Yeah, that's like the worst case scenario. Like he never learns how to throw accurate. He just can't hit anybody.